So if you guys living in Iraq, so you might not know that the Galaxy A16 has been launched in October, or you can say mid-October, and we just go ahead and unbox this one. So this specific color is the blue black with 120 gigs of memory and 4 gigs of RAM, and we just go ahead and unbox this one. So there's nothing special in the box, and just to differentiate the box, Samsung have been given the pull tabs on this one, so we just go ahead and just do it old school kind of unboxing on this one. And so this phone basically lies in between the, you can say, mid-range to in between the mid-range and the budget phone range, and the price range on this one is around $269 in Canada. And in the box, if we open, so we can see the SIM ejection tool over here, and we can see one Type-C to Type-C cable, and then there's nothing more in it. We'll just keep this one aside. And the cable itself, by the way, it looks very you can say okayish, kind of doesn't feel very premium. Let's see how this one holds over time, this one. But yeah, and the phone itself, you can see over here. So let's go ahead and remove this. I don't know how Samsung have done this one. I think it's from the sides. Alright, so the color itself is pretty beautiful in terms of the finish and the feel. So this is called the blue black color. As already mentioned, this one, it has the triple camera setup over here, and the phone feels pretty nice in the hand to hold. It's not that much heavy, it's just 200 grams. And the black rings over the camera looks pretty nice over on these ones. Like it's a very great contrast. So on the front, we get to see over here around 6.7 inches of screen over here, and it's a 1080p screen, and you can see the massive bezels over here. So on the front, we get to see the glass. The frame itself is of the plastic, and the back itself is also made out of plastic. If we come onto the side, so we get to see one power button, and we have the volume up and down. And there's kind of a contour you can see on the all A series, which is like quite similar to all A series in the lineup. On the top, if we come, so we have just one mic. On the left, we get to see the here we have to see, I think here we have the SIM card tray along with the micro SD slot. Up to 1.5 terabytes. So we just go ahead and open this one and see. Yeah, I thought it was a mic. Anyway, so yeah, so this is a hybrid tray, so you get to see the SIM card tray over here along with the micro SD card. So both goes into the one. So yeah, so if you guys can see this one, so even if it's like 128 gigs of memory over here, you can still go ahead and upgrade this one, which is kind of cherry on top kind of thing that we always get to see. We used to see on the flagship phones, but it's just not limited to the mid-range, or you can say around to budget phones. And so yeah, so there's nothing much more on the side. On the bottom, we get to see the Type-C charging port, and we have the another mic, and we have one speaker over here. The feel itself is pretty much nice on this phone. It's obviously doesn't feel very much premium, but considering the price of like around $269 in Canada, it's kind of a decent. And I think that's the best you can get in this price range from Samsung. However, if you want something better, so I would just say like to just go ahead and get the A25, then you'll be in the better zone. Because I've been just looking after this device in the store, and it is a bit of a laggy side. So yeah, so that's my opinion would be regarding this device. So yeah, let's talk about the specs of this phone. So this phone has been launched on October 7th 2024, and dimension wise it is like 164.4 by 77.9 by 7.9 millimeter in thickness, and comprising of the 200 grams in terms of weight. And obviously we already discussed like it has the glass front, it has the plastic frame along with the plastic back, and I wouldn't assume like this would be a great device in terms of the durability. However, the plastic might perform better than some of other frames. But yeah, the glass itself will be very much less protected, and it is the IP54 dust and splash resistant, so you cannot just throw this one in the water. You must avoid this one. Maybe you can just if you're just walking casually on a rainy day or a light drizzle, so that might be just enough for the for that one. The screen itself is the Super AMOLED 90 Hz and 800 nits of peak brightness. Screen itself is 6.7 inches, which is 86% screen to body ratio. The bezels on this one, I feel it has been a little bit better than the previous iteration, which was the A15. But yeah, still you get a very thick chin and the teardrop kind of camera setup on the front. The screen itself, resolution wise, is 1080 by 2340 pixels and 19.5:9 ratio with 385 ppi of density. So if you talk about the system or the firmware on this one, so it's Android 14, and there are up to 6 major Android upgrades that Samsung has promised with us. And now there's 2 versions are coming over here, which is Exynos 1330 5nm chipset or MediaTek Dimensity 6300, which is a 6nm chipset. On this one, you're just getting the MediaTek Dimensity 6300, which is a 6nm chipset, and it comes with the octa-core performance of 2 into 2.4 GHz codecs A78 and 6 into 2 GHz codecs A55, or you just get the octa-core 2 into 2.4 GHz codecs A76 and 6 into 2 GHz codecs A55. And it has the Mali G68 MP2 or Mali G57 MC2 GPU, which depends upon like which region you are. So you'll get the either way of the GPU and the chipset. So memory wise, there are like 3 options over here coming, which is the 128 gigs with 4 GB of RAM and 128 gigs 6 GB of RAM. And then there's 128 gigs with 8 GB of RAM, and there's another one which is 256 gigs with 8 GB of RAM. So this specific version is the 128 GB with 4 gigs of RAM, and suppose micro SD slot up to 1.5 terabyte, which is quite decent if you were looking forward to the upgrading the memory itself. If you come onto the camera, so there's a 50 megapixel wide, then there's 5 megapixel ultra wide, and then there's 2 megapixel macro lens, which obviously it has the LED flash, which is a good thing, and it's supposed to be HDR as well, and records up to 1080 at 30 FPS. So if we come onto the front, so we get to see the 30 megapixel wide camera and suppose video up to 1080p at 30 FPS. And one great thing is that it has the fingerprint sensor on the side, so you're not missing on that. It also has the 5000 mAh of battery, which I would assume would just be great to last long a whole day. And I suppose a wired charging of up to 25 watts. There's no wireless charging on this device. So if we see the screen, so we don't notice any kind of color shift on this device. It feels pretty much nice. I'll be just making the in-depth review of this device, and we just go ahead and see how this one performs. So the button itself are pretty clicky on this one, and the fingerprint we'll just test in the upcoming videos. So yeah, so that was a quick unboxing of this Samsung Galaxy A16. and we'll be just making the in-depth review of this one as well. And if you have any questions, you can just let me know down in the comments, and I'll just try to answer those. And please like, share, and subscribe, and have a good day. Bye.